Hello, my name is Prime, and welcome back to another episode of ATS Showcases, and today I'm going to be doing my very first look at the 1.51 open beta for American Truck Simulator. So today we are here in Tyler, Texas, or just outside of it actually, and we're going to be heading up to McAllister. However, you will notice that there is no route on this delivery quite yet, and that is because I will be using the brand new expanded network of the dynamic loading and unloading feature, which we will be hauling some pelleted animal food from here at this particular facility with our ownable Load King grain hopper trailer. And we're going to go over in just a moment here and go ahead and get this all loaded up. Now, there are a number of brand new additions in 1.51 that I'm going to be talking about in just a few moments time. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get this Western Star 57X started up and get on the road. And in today's first look video, I am not using any mods in American Truck Simulator, so everything you hear and see is American Truck Simulator 1.51 through and through. So without further ado, let's go ahead and I guess technically get on the road, but pull over to our particular facility over here, which is actually at the Farmer's Barn, that's what it is. And we're going to pick up this animal pelleted food, and it's been a while since I've driven the 57X, so I figured I'd come back to it today. It also happens to be a truck that has the brand new or shall I say the updated flow below kit on it, so I'll talk about that in a little bit or just in a few moments time once we load up here. So with the expanded network, you can see that the ownable grain hopper trailers, the overall screen will open up, or the cover I should say, and then you pull underneath the designated loading spot and then it will start to load up. Now, the camera's probably going to not like this as it normally does. Oh, there we go. It's starting to load up. So, with the dynamic feature, for those who may not know, and let's see if I can get a decent camera angle here. Come on, game. Work with me. You'll see that the product starts to load up, and because this is actually a split compartment, it will only load up to 50%. So, once it stops loading up this front half, I will then proceed to move forward, and then the back half will fill up. It will then be 100%, and we can continue on our delivery. This is a feature that came in with the Nebraska DLC and a few custom depots, but in 1.51, everyone will be able to experience it across some default facilities across the ATS map. So see, it's gone ahead and finished, but you still see the mark on the ground here. So we're going to continue pulling up, and then eventually, there we go, you can start hearing it, and it's going to load up the rear compartment of our ownable Load King trailer. So it's a really neat feature. And then there's also the unload feature, which I am hoping I catch today, because I do not completely know if the delivery location we are going to today actually happens to have the feature enabled at it. That is a bit of a caveat. Not all deliveries from point A to point B with any form of grain product. So that's some of the corn, just grain itself. Of course, pelleted animal food is among that. You can all do this here with the grain feature, with the dynamic loading and unloading, but not all of it is compatible, or not all the depots are quite yet. So there we go. Our cargo has been loaded, our GPS enabled. So let's go ahead and look at the map, add our routes. So yes, we're going to head down from here in Tyler up to McAllister, mainly, I guess a bit of side road here on the 69, and then we'll head up onto the more interstates. Overall, really cool delivery. Let's go ahead and get rolling. Hopefully everyone's doing well. I certainly am. It is great to be back here at ATS. I will admit, it has been a while. Oh, and look at that. The cover is now on top of our trailer. Beautiful stuff. I will admit, it has been a little while since I've done any form of delivery here in ATS, and been a bit since I've done the longer form delivery until coming back to ETS 2, just as of, well, only a few videos or a couple days ago if you're watching this upon video release day. It's great to be back here in ATS, and of course checking out the 1.51 open beta. Now this beta brings in a number of features. Obviously, what we're doing today here with the expanded network of the dynamic loading and unloading feature. As I already mentioned, there's also the updated flow below kit, which you can see on the rear wheels of this 57X. There's actually chrome covers, not just the standard black that was always there. You can do some more customization with that. And what surrounds us here today, or at least part of one of the map updates for a DLC within the update, any owner of the Texas DLC will get to have some brand new vegetation. In particular, replacing, or I guess I should say adding, a lot of the pine trees that are in this eastern section of the Texas DLC. That is because, as part of the Arkansas DLC development, SES Software has created the Lullaby Pines, a very unique tree, and just also updating vegetation itself. They've incorporated it, given the proximity to this eastern section of Texas to Arkansas and just the native trees in the area, making it more realistic. So it just makes the vegetation look a lot better, at least in my opinion. And as far as I know, this whole area has been kind of, shall we say, at least tweaked a little bit in terms of the vegetation. It looks like it's a little bit different at very least, and hopefully I'm not driving in the wrong part of the map. But as far as I know from the blog post that I covered not too long ago, it was kind of this whole section. So overall, looks really good. It's just nice to be back here in the Texas DLC overall, and even as we go up here, we should be able to see some of the updated vegetation if this happens not to be it, but it does look a bit more new to me and a little bit more dense, which I'm always happy to see. Now, along with that, obviously the Texas DLC owners, you'll get this free update of vegetation, but any owner of the Oklahoma DLC will be able to, well, in Oklahoma City, finally be able to drive all along the I-44, which is very good that it's actually being completed. That's something that I know a lot of us have wanted to have completed. It was not, and is now going to be part, or is part of this this particular update for ATS, which is always great. We're going to go ahead and roll through the intersection, which we can. Beautiful stuff. No, it's going to be great to have that as well. So there's a couple updates here for the map expansions. Obviously the Texas DLC and the Oklahoma DLC. If you happen to own them, expect to find some new content there. I did do a Prime News, well, on this feature just only, well, days ago. So I'll try to have it linked up in the cards above for you to go back and look at if you so choose to. If not, I'm going to talk about a few of the extra things that have come in as well. So one of the most contentious things, shall I say, with this update is actually the addition of, or shall I say, the removal of the launch pad with the new addition of the title screen. Now, I did a... What's the word I'm looking for? Community poll. There we go. Finally got there. Brain came around at one point. Community poll not too long ago, and I touched on this in the Prime News. However, generally speaking, you all are very open to having the brand new title screen. Now, some of you may not have seen those images before. I'd highly recommend you go check out those particular images for that. It's available on the blog post. Also, once again, I've talked about it and show off the screenshots in the Prime News video. The title screen is basically designed to allow a more user-friendly experience, of course aligning it as well with the overall mentality of the UI upgrade that we had in 1.50. But generally speaking, and this is a stop? It's like a caution. I feel the stop signs are on either side. It just felt like a car went flying through here and not stop, so I wanted to be careful. Anyways, the title screen is designed to make it more user-friendly for wheel users. If you're using, say, a gamepad as well, or some form of controller, just using the D-pad to navigate around or whatever you so choose to, even arrow keys on a keyboard. The design intention is to make it a lot easier to do so. It's more of a standard, shall we say, title menu of a game, with a few extra cool things in there, I guess, just to kind of make it more streamlined. I honestly don't hate it, and I know a lot of you will say the same. At the end of the day, as long as we can quickly get into our profile or create a new one, do we really care? No, at least not in my opinion. So fortunately, it's very easy to just continue on your profile. It literally says continue profile or something like that, which is very, very nice indeed. So I can't really complain. The overall menu, it just works well. Yes, it kind of looks, at least it looks new and more modern as well. I'm not going to complain. It works well. That's all that matters. So that's the bit of the contentious thing, because obviously some people would just say, well, why, if it's not broken, don't fix it sort of situation. And that is completely fair. The old launchpad really had nothing wrong with it, and in some ways was easier to navigate, in all fairness. When I first opened up the game, I had to try and figure out where do I click to choose my brand or to select between different profiles, because for someone like me, I have multiple profiles depending on the video series I'm doing here in ATS or just playing on my personal save. So I was trying to figure out how do I change my profile. Figured out it was in the top right hand corner when it actually shows you your profile kind of overall information. Click on that and you'll be able to choose whatever profile you want, and stuff looks a little bit more similar. So there's that. The title screen is a bit contentious, but overall generally received well, at least from the images with you or with all of you. Comment down below what you think about the title screen for yourself. For those who have gone ahead and are testing out the beta just like me, that'll be very interesting to see what your thoughts are on that. I am interested to know, see if it's changed from, say, the time when you did the poll when it was just a screenshot versus actually using it. I'll be interested to know that. Now, is that a chrome, what looks like a Tacoma? Or is it just like a silver, it's like a silver metallic, I guess. It just really looked chrome-like to me. I don't know, maybe it was just the lighting. Odd. Anyways, besides that, there was also a couple other UI upgrades as well, or additions, and these are actually good ones in my opinion, and they revolve around the options menu of ATS. Now, normally the options menu, especially in the gameplay kind of tab, just had a bunch of features in it, and honestly, it needed to be organized, it needed to be categorized, and what SES Software has done is, well, added a search feature. A beautiful feature, if you ask me. So much easier to be able to just search for certain settings, especially in a couple of the pages. They definitely have a lot, but in addition, they have also added categories to break up a page that you are on. So for example, graphics, or actually at least options, or gameplay, for example, they all have different categories, which is fantastic. And I believe they also sectioned out a couple other pages as well, which is really good, like accessibility and all those things, just to make the user experience a lot better when navigating the menus, in particular doing options. I am always happy to see that. That's definitely a bit of a challenge sometimes, and I definitely know for the newer users, that's something that I know a lot of you will be happy to see, that there is no longer, well, sometimes the daunting confusion of looking at the massive list of options kind of mixed in with each other. In all honesty, at some points, it's been a good addition in my books. See the train paralleling us, and it's going to cross over the road here. How long is the train today? Honestly, not too bad. I will admit, that's actually... Again, I am not using any mods. I'm not using any mods. That is actually a fairly okay length train. Is that new? I feel like the old trains were shorter than that. Or like some trains are shorter than that. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Because I mean, that wasn't very long in terms of North American trains. In general, most of the time, North American freight trains are quite long. We're talking hundreds and hundreds of cars at times, lasting, well, for me, kilometers, as I am Canadian, but I know sometimes they can last miles in the US as well. So that wasn't overly long, but still, it felt longer than some of ATS. I don't know. Comment down below, let me know if I'm just going crazy. Maybe I haven't looked at a freight train in ATS for a while, but as I am in a newer section of the game overall was the Texas DLC, and obviously with things coming up with Arkansas and Missouri and Iowa, things are looking pretty exciting. So potentially that is a newer train that has been added for this region. So it looks like we're going to get on to the highway up here. Obviously, 1.51 comes at a great time because, well, we are just around the corner now from what we can expect to be the Arkansas DLC. And as I was looking, well, actually preparing the for today's delivery, Arkansas was actually included in text on the map, which is absolutely fantastic. And I did notice a little bits and bobs, kind of broken stuff, I think, in Missouri and Iowa. Generally with the early section of a beta, there'll be kind of some weird stuff where maybe you can get in there, maybe you can't. I'm gonna see if I can try to maybe explore some hidden areas of the map before it gets completely locked out, but I'm gonna do my best. And I know there's generally some hidden bits that come in for future DLCs anyways. SES Software likes to add some teasers in there, I do appreciate that about them. I'm going to see what I can do, and I'll see if I can make a video on it. But if not, know that, well, Arkansas is definitely just around the corner. Considering it's in the beta for the sake of the name, and we kind of know that was coming given the blog post history we've got right now, and I guess the roadmap of blog posts. We're at the point where Arkansas is coming, which is very exciting. And then of course we have Missouri and Iowa both in development, really tackling that, basically the Midwest of the USA, and or getting into Central as well, which is really exciting to see for American Truck Simulator, expanding eastward quite a bit. Now, when will Louisiana be coming? Hopefully will be maybe the next one, but at the same time, we've also got the Dakota DLCs that have been kind of left out to dry in some ways. Hopefully they come as a bit of a bundle. That's just me. I'd really love to see a bundle DLC for that, for the Dakotas. That would just make sense. I don't know why it dinged at me, but that's okay. New modern truck issues, I guess. I didn't set my mirrors, so we're just gonna go ahead out here. Sorry there, truck. That's my bad. Should have reset my mirrors, because I have been using the realistic FOV mod for American Truck Simulator, something I do highly recommend you all check out if you haven't already. And I will be using it again, but it is kind of a tradition with me. I do like to not run any mods for it. Minimum, the first look of a brand new update. That just makes sure, well, to make sure that I'm only running American Truck Simulator. That way I can give a proper evaluation of the performance of the update, and not basically rag on it if there's an issue when it could be just a map incompatibility. Now let's see if we have to stop at the way station. Where's my thing? Where's I can't. Where's oh, there it is. I mean, it says it's green up there, so in theory if I open this up, I can bypass the service. Perfect. We're good. I don't have to stop at the way station. That is what I like to see. Some of the trucks have them on the windshield. This one actually has it up top there. So that's good. I could just bypass the way station. I'm happy about that. Most of the time, I don't like having to stop. That's bad of me to say, but it's the truth. I, generally speaking, don't like having to stop for the way stations. Sometimes they're a bit of a nuisance, but they are required, and that is okay. It is realistic at the end of the day. Now, are we into Oklahoma yet? I feel like we should be into Oklahoma now. I believe we are. That was bad of me to say, but I think we're getting at very least close, which is good. Which is very good indeed. Yeah, it's definitely a nice delivery. Obviously, now that we're kind of moving out of the Texas area, that section of the environment has now kind of left in the dust a little bit. But even still, it's great to just be able to explore some of the other areas as well and come back to this area too. I just love this area. It's really good, this eastern section. I've got to go back to the west coast as well, a bit more too. I've got to go everywhere, to be honest. It's a bit of a challenge to try and balance everything out, because there's always brand new things that need to come in that are, generally speaking, right now, well, on the east coast, or on the eastern section of the map, not east coast, one day. On the eastern section of the map, unless if it is the California Rework project, which of course new phases are going to be coming for that, so that is also down the line, and who knows what other reworks will be happening too. I'm sure there's some other projects that could be done, because there are other older DLCs that can now start to be updated as well. It's amazing to see how far American Truck Simulator has come, and honestly where it continues to go. I want to go cinematic cam. Let's see if we'll actually do it. There we go. A couple attempts there. It just kept going standard exterior view. Good old buttons. There's so much new stuff coming. I mean, we know this from the map DLCs, but there's also, of course, brand new trucks that we know will be coming down the line. So many great things for ATS, and of course the map revamps and all this stuff, new trailers, you name it. So many great things. It's just the matter of time. And really where it's come from, if you think back to 2016, when the game was released, how far the game has come in, well, what we're getting closer to 10 years now, which is kind of scary to think about. It's closer than we are not. You know, it's been roughly 8 years. It's pretty interesting to see how far American Truck Simulator has come. And where it's going, quite a few places by the looks of it, and that is really good. Now, the map DLC development rate seems to be actually pretty good. Now, I will admit, it will still be a number of years until we hit the East Coast, unless if there is a miracle map DLC bundle, basically, that SES Software has been working on for who knows how long, that is just going to absolutely turbo speed the expansion of the map, which I'd love to see. I'd love to see a, I don't know, going east, basically, DLC, the American Truck Simulator equivalent of the ATS 1. I'd love to see something like that, where multiple states are included. You go from there. Is that the model they're going for? Is that the capacity SES Software has? I do not know. Yes, it looks like we're coming into McAllister now, which is fantastic. I do not know what their capacity is. The fact that everything has been coming out one DLC at a time is both, I guess, good for the sake of the quality that we're getting, but also a negative in terms of the speed that things are going and the fact that it's going to cost more too, in all honesty. Going to cost more for people to, well, experience the American Truck Simulator map. At the end of the day, you're going to have to buy a lot of DLCs, and including myself, going to have a lot of DLCs to finally fill out the map. Well, I guess 48. 48 to be specific, plus then the other ones that will come down the line. So it's one of those things where you just gotta hope that things happen sooner than later, really, and definitely start to expand. So we can proceed to the unloading area, which that definitely makes me excited, as that very much sounds like it is a dynamic unloading area. Now, I think it always just says unloading area, even if it's not. I don't think it is. 2 for 2. 2 for 2 is this dynamic loading and unloading feature. Oh, gotta love it. Gotta love it. For those who weren't here or maybe didn't watch the first look video I did of the Nebraska DLC, when I did this very thing, I delivered it to a spot that didn't actually have dynamic unloading. And lo and behold, 2 for 2, folks. I have done it again. I have managed to load and then not be able to unload all in the same delivery. Well, that is mighty unfortunate, but it is the way it is. That's okay. I was just hoping, because this was more of a, what I thought to be more of a agricultural based facility, we'd be fine on the unloading side. There'd be a grain pit. I was wrong. So I would highly recommend, if you're looking for a delivery, now that I'm learning stuff, something I probably should have thought about as well, highly recommend you look for a job that goes, in particular, from a farmer's barn to a farmer's barn. You'll probably be okay. If not, good luck to you. It's mainly out of chance, unless if you are very good at learning the different delivery locations. Overall, 1.51, a fantastic open beta by the looks of it. Everything's running really well. I am recording this quite early, actually, in the overall release of the beta. Well, it's actually just the next day after release, so keep that in mind. Everything is running quite well off the bat, which I'm happy to say. Lots of cool features coming in, obviously, especially if you have the Texas and Oklahoma DLC. Not to mention then everyone being able to experience, well, this, the dynamic loading and unloading feature when you can actually find an unloading spot. It's always great to have new features like that come in and expand from the more niche kind of development that it was in the Nebraska DLC. Overall, I'm going to be doing a little bit more here on the, of course, 1.51 open beta. I'll do my best to release some more videos sooner than later, which is going to be really cool. We'll explore some other new areas, try and hit Oklahoma City to go through on the I-44 there, the completed route. Otherwise, we'll check out a few other things with, well, maybe some of the more dynamic loading unloading to see if we can actually get a delivery where we properly unload. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.